Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Spoken. We're obviously out here at Chiefs training camp. I'm with my good friend here, Casey Super Chief. How you doing today, Casey Super Chief?
Really good, really good.
How'd you think practice went today?
I thought it went great. For defense anyways, the defense was just phenomenal today. And I want to bring up a point that you said earlier. What the scary part is, the defense isn't even allowed to tackle yet, and they're just doing phenomenal. Just in-your-face type stuff. They brought it to the house today. Although offense did have a few great moments toward the end of practice.
Yeah, I agree. The defense really showed a lot of flair, a lot of animosity. It honestly looked like it was two different teams, to be quite honest with you. They played like they didn't like each other at all, like they had a vendetta. And what I liked about the defense is also they got their hands on the ball a whole lot. They had some really good instinctual plays. I really like the athleticism they showcased today. But also talking about the offense, it's an ongoing situation with the quarterback. We look at Matt Cassel as the obvious starter. We look at Quinn and Stanzi as the possible 2, /3. Trick shot is 4. I think we all know that's going to happen. But looking at this offense, being run by one of those 3 guys, did you see anything that concerned you about Matt Cassel today? Did you see anything that might have got you excited? I mean, anything at all? What did you see from Matt Cassel today?
Well, I think, and we're all entitled to have an off day once in a while, but I think Matt just had an off day today, from what I could see. He wasn't completing very many of his passes. Some of them, most of them, even got batted down by the defense. Like I said, the defense was just phenomenal today. That's about all I saw today.
Yeah. And looking at Cassel, obviously he's going to be the guy that every fan is looking at. Every guy, that considers himself a Chiefs fan, every woman that considers herself a Chiefs fan is going to look and see how he performs this year. Does he take a next step? And Jim Zorn earlier today did say that he feels that Matt Cassel took a dramatic step forward from 2011. My only problem with that statement, although it is very optimistic and although it is exciting to hear to an extent, is a lot of people were optimistic about how Matt Cassel played last year, and he didn't play that well. So being excited and saying he's playing dramatically, well, how much better really is that, Super Chief?
Well, I think people have their own opinions about how Cassel plays and doesn't play. But I've always been a fan of Matt Cassel. But he's been doing really well all this training camp. And like I said, everybody's entitled to have an off day. I think today was just an off day. None of the quarterbacks really did all that great today, from what I could see. So it wasn't just him. Yeah.
Now looking at the running backs, guys, I'm going to say right now, if you have not seen these guys run yet, I mean, it is really special to see. Granted, the defense cannot truly tackle right now, so we're not seeing them really go against guys that are banging them around. But just starting from the top up, Jamaal Charles, when he plays, I mean, they're still being a little careful with him. I've seen a lot of bursts from this guy. He's cutting, he's going on the outside. They can't really catch up with him. It's just how skilled he is. Peyton Hillis is bruising people, guys. He's just making them pay, just standing in his way, guys. I would never stand in that guy's way no matter what he does to me. You're looking at Drone and you're looking at Cyrus Gray. These 2 guys I find very interesting because I think that this team is going to have to come down to a choice. Do we go with Drone or do we go with Cyrus Gray? And obviously Cyrus Gray was the higher pick. He was the guy that, that people said, well, let's see what this guy can do, obviously, if Jamaal Charles doesn't stay healthy, or Peyton Hillis. What do you think? What do you think the Chiefs are going to do? What decision would you make if you were the GM, if you were the coaches?
And I can't even say right now. There's a whole bunch of training camp left. Plus you got the preseason games to see what they're going to do in an actual game situation. Right now I really like Drone. He had a nice little touchdown run earlier in camp today. Didn't really see it much out of Cyrus Gray. Maybe I wasn't paying attention much to him today, but didn't really see a whole lot out of him today.
Yeah. Well, I got to be honest, guys. I'm gonna slightly disagree with Casey Super Chief. Only because I think that Cyrus Gray has more upside. I think that Drone is playing at a very high level right now, but I think there's sometimes we see guys that are very good at practice. And I think that might be a concern of the Chiefs with Drone. I think that he's the type of guy that performs very well with no pressure on him, really, no expectation. But when it actually the lights hit and he's on TV and there's 80,000 screaming fans, I think it's going to be a little bit different story. I trust Cyrus Gray simply because of how he did in college. I mean, the guy performed at a pretty decent level, and I think that he's a guy that we could trust more. And this is all based on the fact, if in fact we have to choose between them. Looking at Dexter McCluster, there was speculation, rumors that this guy could possibly be cut by the team. Might not make the 53. And I will go out to say first that I was really impressed by the way he played. He was not only catching the ball pretty well, not only returning the ball on punts very well, and cutting at the right time, making effective moves with his legs. But I also love the fact that he was throwing blocks. I mean, we saw one on Javier Arenas that I have never seen a man McCluster's size or lack thereof ever throwing on a guy bigger than him. So, what do you think about Dexter McCluster's situation? I asked Ty this yesterday. He's optimistic he'll stay on the Chiefs roster. What do you think?
Absolutely. I have no doubt that he'll stay on the Chiefs roster. He's just too much of an asset to get rid of.
Yeah. Well, looking at also the coaching staff, we like I said, we've heard about Jim Zorn, we've heard about Romeo Crennel and the way he's inspired this team, but I think the guy that is not getting really enough credit, in my opinion, at least from what I've heard, is Brian Daboll. I think that this guy has motivated an offense. Yeah, granted, it is struggling, but I think, side note, they were playing against a pretty tough defense, with Khalid, Houston and Barry and Flowers and all these other guys. I really like the way he coaches, and the reason why I say that is because it's a lot like Haley, but it's more of a, as long as you're progressing, I'm going to be happy with it. Because I think that sometimes Haley would, and I know he's the head coach, but he was also a very offensive-minded head coach. Brian Daboll's obviously the offensive coordinator. If you look at what Daboll's doing, it's different than Haley, because Haley would get on a player, but when they would do something right, you didn't see a whole lot of rejoicing, the same level of gratitude as he saw, with attitude, if you will. What do you think about Brian Daboll's job so far? How's he done?
I love him so far. I mean, he's doing things that are just impressing me day by day. I've said it before. We were tailgating out here just a few days ago before training camp, and he went out of his way to come over, say hi, introduce himself to us. I mean, he's just a nice overall guy. Plus, I love what he's doing out on that training camp field. It's exactly like Lance says. If you do good, he's going to reward you for it. But if you do bad, he's going to tear you down for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, not a whole lot of questions yet, but we just talked before we started filming, and Casey Super Chief gave me his prediction of what the record would be this year, and I thought, why not? Let's hear what he's got. What's the record going to be, and why?
I think 12-4. I've never seen a roster lineup like this. We just have the necessary tools. AFC West champs, perhaps even a long run into the playoffs. I'm really looking forward to this year. Yeah. I've never been more pumped up.
Well, there's a reason he's a super fan, guys. He likes to inspire with his looks and obviously with the way he talks, because he's such a great analyst. We love him. I love having him on the show. I think that fans are going to be very excited this year. I know you guys are licking your chops as you heard what the record's going to be, and hopefully we do get a long playoff run. But in that, this is The Spoken, guys. We're very appreciative of everybody that's watching. We're out here at camp. I'm going to be back up here at Family Fun Day, and I hope to hear from you guys soon. You guys have a great day.